Welcome to Chris's Storytelling Corner. This is Christopher Moldong. Today I'm going to do a manga review of Dawn of the Arcana Volume 7 to 9. Next time I'll have a manga review for Dawn of the Arcana Volumes 10 to 13, which will end the series. I'll also have a list of reluctant protagonists in movies and a movie review for Wonder Woman. You can check out my author's website at www.chrismoldon.com. You can buy my first novel, a fantasy adventure called The Mustard Prince and the Condiment Kingdom for $4.99. Also for $2.99, you can buy my short story collection, a collection of 10 short stories in the horror, fantasy, and realistic fiction genres. Check out my Twitter page and author's Facebook page. Links to all these will be provided on the description. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment to this channel if you're on YouTube, or follow, share, and comment on this channel if you're listening to this on SoundCloud. If you're listening to this on iTunes or Stitcher, please rate, review, and share this channel. So the way that this will work is I will do a recap of Volume 7, and then give my thoughts on that volume, then do the same for Volume 8, and do the same for Volume 9. So, there will have spoilers. I would, so if you haven't read these yet, I don't want to get spoiled, then you might want to avoid this. But otherwise, let's get started with Volume 11. The volume begins with Caesar and Nakaba talking with Prince Adele. Prince Adele agrees to escort them back to the castle personally. Senan Castle. Nakaba tells Rito that he'll get to see his mother, Rena. At the castle, Nakaba does not know her way around. Nakaba and Caesar meet with the king. He tells them to recover from their journey. Prince Adele gets angry at Nakaba for allowing one of his barbs to sting her, as they didn't affect her before. Belenus tells them that they are more likely going to take Caesar hostage and use him as a bargaining chip. Caesar sees a tower apart from the castle and asks what it is. Loki tells him that was Nakaba's chambers for 14 years. Nakaba runs off, hearing them talk about the tower and her circumstances. So Caesar finds her and consoles her. She asks that he does not despise her. Caesar says that would never happen. They both go back to the room and Nakaba goes to sleep. Rito comes in and tells Caesar that the king has summoned him. The king tells Caesar that Nakaba's mother was killed by his father, King Garan. Rito tells Nakaba that they're going to kill Caesar. The king tells Caesar that he can repay King Garan's kindness with his head. Caesar tells the king that his father is most likely not to care. Nakaba runs to them. Caesar questions why the king's love does not extend to Nakaba. The king reveals that he knows of the death of Prince Cain and Belquat's ability to work with Letna. Rito and Loki appear. Loki reveals that Rito's mother, Rena, is confined in the tower. For her to be freed, the king ordered Rito to learn what Belquat was plotting. The king orders them to travel to Lithuania. He wants to facilitate relations between the two nations. Prince Caesar declares that he will sit on the Belquat throne and will usher in an era of true peace between their countries. Caesar wants the king's word that on that day he will set aside Letna and make no war. The king says that he has it. The king will arrange for a ship for them, and they leave in a week. Rito and Loki apologize to everyone for secretly working for the king. Nakaba and Loki visit Rena in the tower. Kava tells her to wait a little longer and she'll get her out of there. The Arcana of Time gets triggered, and Nakaba sees Loki looking over a dead body on the ground. Loki tells her to never forget that he is a beast. Nakaba faints, and Loki takes her back to her room. Nakaba tells Loki that she's scared of what he's hiding. Loki tells her that he has secrets that no one can know, even her. They sail to Lithuania, and Nakaba gets seasick. She uses the Arcana of Time to look into Loki, but only sees when her mother died. They dock at a city called Inika. Prince Akil meets up with them and they go to his palace. Akil tells them that before they meet the king, he'd like them to meet his brother. Nakaba tries to use the Arcana of Time but is weakened by it. Loki comes in and asks if she's looking into his secrets. Loki then tells her that the Arcana can kill her. They meet Akil's brother Azal. Akil tells him that Azal is his closest sibling and would like him to be king. The firstborn is next to be in line to be king, and Azal is the secondborn. If the firstborn was a great man, then Akil would gladly welcome him as king. The king proposed a test. A band of thieves plagued the kingdom. The prince who rids the kingdom of the thieves will be the heir. Akil asks Nakaba and her group to help Azal find the thieves' hideout. If they do this, then Senan and Lithuano will be allies. In a private conversation with Akil, Nakaba, and Loki, Akil asks Nakaba to use the Arcana of Time, and Nakaba agrees. Outside at night, Nakaba tries to use the Arcana of Time, but Caesar sees her. He asks her what's wrong, but she doesn't tell him. She uses the Arcana again and sees the city under attack. She reports this vision to Akil, saying that there's a tower and a crescent moon in her vision. In the hallway, Loki confronts Akil if he knows that the Arcana of Time can kill her. Akil confirms that he knew that and says he'd ask her to do it again. With Azal, Akil, and a small army of men, they tore around the towns of Rahik. Nakaba uses the Arcana and sees snakes. She reports this to Azal. At night in Rahik, they get attacked by snakes. Leo appears and burns them using the Arcana of Fire. Loki throws his sword at what looks like the leader, and it stabs through her arm. At the end of the volume, Loki fights against the leader, who turns out to be a snake Ajin. So, some thoughts on Volume 7. We got to know a little bit about King Morris of Senan. Doesn't seem to have any love for Nakaba at all. And you really don't know why. He obviously had love for, was it Stesha? I think that's his, King Morris's granddaughter, Nakaba. But he clearly have loved, Nakaba's mother, Stesha. I can't really tell where King Morris is in the whole spectrum of like being an antagonist here. He did some antagonistic actions, but he didn't, and he drew his blade to Caesar, but, after everything was said and done, it seems like he's more of an antagonist than obvious. He's not a protagonist, but, at the end of the day, things appeared to be a bit neutral between them. We got to know a little bit about this tower, that Nakaba was locked into. Definitely unfortunate, and it looks like Rena, Rito's mother, is now in that tower as well, and facing that same fate. Definitely symbolic of isolation, loneliness, and all of the sort. Interesting that Rito was a spy. He is a perfect spy. Small, unassuming, seemingly innocent. He did his job well. I don't think anyone could have really predicted that, but, it happened. Loki seemingly has a lot of secrets as well. What they are, we don't know. Whose body that Nakaba saw, we don't know as well. And this is interesting because Loki and Nakaba are so entwined. They share so much, and yet Loki has so many secrets from her. It's kind of something of a stark contrast to what we know so far about Loki and his relationship with Nakaba. Nakaba still continues to use the Arcana of Time. Seems to be working for her quite well, too. Well, she seems to be getting better at it. You can tell that still stuff she can't see, but like, she saw the attack and whatnot. It seems to be something that she can use better. Right now, it looks like the whole gang is in Lithuano. Looks like that they already have some sort of conflict going on with the thieves. We've kind of established the players with Akil, where Akil stands, where they're kind of fighting to help Azal get on the throne. Azal is kind of odd, he seemingly hit on Nakaba, but doesn't seem to be an antagonist at all. He actually does seem to be one of the good guys. Akil seems, he gets along with Akil. We know Akil is one of the good guys as well. And we also saw that they're fighting against a snake Ajin, who seems to have this pretty strong power of summoning snakes and killing people. I'm curious to see where this goes. It's, the snake Ajin seems to be a pretty strong, threat to them at this point. So, on to Volume 8. The volume begins with Caesar's mother being told that Caesar killed Prince Cain. The king tells her that the king, though, tells Cain's mother, or, Caesar's mother, that the most beautiful color, in his opinion, is gold. Because she was kind of like, oh, she was a gold hair and whatnot, and I'm a black hair, and he's like, dude, gold's the most beautiful color here. The king is told that one of Caesar's party has the Arcana of Fire. Back in Rahik, the snake Ajin and thieves retreat. Back at the castle, Caesar and Belenus speak to each other. In a monologue, Caesar says that he must leave Nakaba behind. That night in bed, Nakaba uses the Arcana of Time. In her vision, she's covered in snakes. Caesar enters Nakaba's room and consoles her. He tells her that he's returning to Belquat. Nakaba insists on going with him, but he tells her that she's needed in Lithuano and to help Rito's mother. Next day, Caesar gives Nakaba the cold shoulder. Nakaba uses the Arcana of Time to see Caesar's future, but she can't see anything. She finds a door, but it's locked. She's actually in this, as far as this door goes, she's actually, in this weird, I want to say dimension, where she just sees a door. So at dinner, Caesar still gives Nakaba the cold shoulder and abruptly leaves. Nakaba enters his room and sleeps with him in his bed. Caesar tells her to stop loving him as she will be a widow. She refuses because, Caesar has this plan to go back to Belquat, but it's dangerous and he might be killed if he goes back to Belquat. So that's the conclusion. Her being a widow is a conclusion that Caesar has. They try to make love, but Caesar can't. Caesar can't and says that he's off balance with her. Akil knocks on the door and tells them that another city has been attacked and it's close to the capital. The snake Ajin tells the other bandits that the capital should be their next target. Prince Azal speaks with some officials and his other brother, the firstborn Batal. Azal is criticized by Batal for not stopping the bandits when he had the chance. Caesar, Belenus, and Lemuria leave to head back to Belquat. Nakaba tries to use the Arcana of Time, but can't. Akil pleads with her to use it, but she also gets angry because she's still trying to get used to this power and whatnot. Batal apparently is looking into Akil's guest. Rito and Nakaba speak in the garden. Nakaba has a moment of weakness, thinking that maybe she should give it all up. But then, she gets back to her senses. Rito then falls asleep, and then Nakaba gets hit with something and falls asleep. Nakaba is taken to a room while tied up and is questioned by Batal. She tries to fight him, but he slaps her to the ground. She gets a piece of glass and cuts herself so that she can see blood and use the Arcana of Time. In this dimension of the Arcana of Time, she enters this place full of doors, but the doors are locked. One door opens for her, and she is taken to Senan Castle. A young Prince Adele walks towards her, but he just walks through her. The current, well, when I say walks towards her, I meant like the current Nakaba that's watching all this. He goes to Nakaba's room and harasses her. The Nakaba from that time period is who I'm referring to. She follows Loki, entering the room of Lady Bella. Loki kisses her hand and she slaps him and is ordered to leave. Loki visits Nakaba's room and gets food for them, so they're still in like the past. He runs into another Ajin servant, I can't remember, Kulot, and Kulot gives Loki more food that was supposed to go to Lady Bella. Loki and Nakaba eat together. Later, Loki is in bed with Lady Bella. She says that she has a dress for the red hair. She tells Loki to leave that girl's service and enter hers. Loki refuses, though. Lady Bella then tells Loki to cut off Kulot's tail, and in exchange he'll give up on him. So Loki actually tries to cut off Kulot's tail, but before he can, Lady Bella has an idea of killing Nakaba or giving her to the soldiers. Loki then kills Lady Bella and carries her body off into the forest. At the end of the volume, Loki comes back to Nakaba and he holds her as present-day Nakaba watches. So some thoughts on Volume 8. We're getting to see this new side of Loki. That was a bit suspected in Volume 7 when he was holding secrets, but man, this guy's holding some secrets, man. That guy was killing in the name, pretty much in the name of Nakaba, you know. I don't know what else this guy is hiding, but yeah, you know, what we knew about Loki is very alarming, and it's extremely alarming to Nakaba, you know. He is not above killing people. It seems like royal people in her name. The Arcana of Time, we're now seeing these doors. You know, this is a bit different now. We never saw these doors here, you know. What's past these doors? You know, there seem to be a lot of them. A lot of them seem to be locked. We don't really know why that is. Don't exactly know why one got open even. It's interesting too that we got to see the past. She's also seen the future as well. So, you know, it's interesting to see the extent of where this Arcana of Time gets to go now. We got introduced to Prince Batal. He seems like a bad guy. I don't know what else to say. Doesn't seem to like us all. Tied up Nakaba, and it's questioning what's going on. Don't really know what role he's gonna play. Excuse me. What role he's gonna play in this conflict that's going on, but it doesn't look like he's up to any good. So another antagonist we got is, you know, the Snake Ajin as well. She's still around. We don't really know what her role in all this. Why she's even you know, doing all, you know, like attacking the towns and whatnot. Why is she even doing this? And also, it looks like that the bandits are going to attack, you know, the capital as well. So, you know, this volume more or less seems to be setting the stage for certain things that are happening. Because, like, okay, we got another player in Batal, got the Snake Ajin that's, you know, plotting, and the bandits that's plotting to attack the capital. And the other, we got to learn a little bit about Loki, and now we also learned that Caesar is leaving for Belquat. I don't know if it doesn't seem like he's going to be a part of the whole conflict that's happening in Lithuania yet. It seems like he's leaving before they can solve that conflict, and no, he left. My bad. So he's going to do his own thing in Belquat, and it looks like he's going to be separate from Nakaba for the time being. He wants to be king, and there's danger in that side as well. So, it's going to be really interesting to see, like, how their paths are you know, are going to converge once again. Especially assuming that this thing in Lithuania gets completed. I'm curious to see where Nakaba goes from here. Does she go back to Belquat or what? That's my guess. I mean, they are husband and wife after all, so we'll see what happens there. So in Volume 9, the volume begins with Nakaba and the area of doors from the Arcana of Time. She goes through a door and sees Caesar with long hair. He goes to where Nakaba and Loki are, and she's wearing sandals that he gave her. She removes them and asks Loki to give her her old sandals. Loki touches Nakaba's cheek, and Caesar leaves the room. In bed that night, Loki stands next to Nakaba's bed and tries to touch her but stops himself. The current Nakaba seemingly suspects his feelings for her. She wakes up and Batal is standing over her. Loki comes into the room and unties her and takes her away. Nakaba questions herself how much she's hurt him. Batal comments that Nakaba has the Arcana of Time. Loki and Nakaba go back to her room. Nakaba is uneasy about him touching her cheek. Once Loki leaves, Nakaba uses the Arcana of Time to see Caesar. She ends up seeing the snake Ajin speaking with Batal. And then she reports this to Akil. Akil tells her to leave for the port of Inika. She goes there with Loki by camel. Back in Belquat, we see Louise speaking with the queen. She says that she'll arrange for her to marry Caesar. Louise appears hesitant and seems to have developed legitimate feelings for Cain. Back in Lithuania, or in Inika, looks like Caesar and Nakaba and Loki reach Inika. Nakaba sees Caesar, but Loki takes her to an alley. Loki tells her to choose between staying in his arms or going to Prince Caesar. Nakaba chooses Caesar and runs to him. Nakaba tells Caesar that she loves him as Loki watches. On the ship, Belenus is with Caesar. Caesar yells out Nakaba's name multiple times. Caesar asks Belenus how to stay alive. He tells him that he must become king and rule over Belquat. Loki and Nakaba head back to Lithuania. Loki questions why Snake Ajin would cooperate with royalty. They find dead bodies along the streets of the capital. The Snake Ajin and bandits appear holding Azal and Akil hostage. Batal is on the rooftop and shoots the Snake Ajin with an arrow. The next day, everyone is cheering for Prince Batal. Akil tells Azal to leave the palace and just to leave this place. They are told that there's a public execution in the square. Batal whispers something to the Snake Ajin who is about to be executed. Nakaba then uses the Arcana of Time. We see Batal at age 14 presented presented the Snake Ajin as a gift by the king. Batal tells her that when his father took the throne, a swarm of snakes threatened the village, but the king rescued the village and won the people's hearts. Batal names the Snake Ajin Elahe, which means goddess. Batal plotted with her for her to lead a gang of bandits so he can capture her. It is also strongly implied that she's in love with Batal. It's revealed that Batal whispered to Elahe, "Forgive me, it would reflect poorly on me if I let you go free. Will you die for me?" Elahe smiles before she gets beheaded. In a monologue, Elahe says that she's giving her life for the person she loves. Batal holds Elahe's head up in front of the people as they cheer, so she got executed, and he's holding her head up. Nakaba gets angry and cries over this because she knows the truth about all this, and it triggers the Arcana of Time. She sees a wolf that leads her to one of the open doors. It leads to two other doors. that door leads to two other doors. She sees Akil and Azal being attacked by Batal's private troops. Akil gets killed running to Azal. Through the other door, Nakaba sees herself grabbing Akil's arm, and Azal gets killed. So at the end of the volume, she realizes that the power of the Arcana is telling her to let one of them die. Thoughts on volume 9 here. Nakaba has to choose between the life of Akil and Azal. That's where the next volume is going, and it'll be very interesting to see who she chooses. Obviously, it seems like Akil is a friend of hers, but Azal is the next in line. Um, if they can somehow maybe stop Batal, then Azal will be next in line to be king, and maybe that relations between Lithuano and Senan will be good to go. If Azal dies, that does not happen. And then what happens with Rito's mother then? If Batal takes the throne, Akil lives, but Azal dies. It's like, there's consequences for both actions here. We got to know about Elahe and Batal and their relationship. Very tragic. I always like this about, I always like the tragic villain, the villain about a backstory, not just, Batal seems to be like the typical villain. He's almost like evil for the sake of being evil, whereas Elahe was evil for the sake of love. You had a really bad person in Batal who seemingly took care of Elahe, and then Elahe would do evil in the name of Batal. And actually, which is kind of funny, I didn't realize it until I just said it, but isn't that the same with Loki and Nakaba? You have Loki the Ajin doing evil in the name of Nakaba, and now you have Elahe doing the same for Batal. Obviously, Batal is an evil person, whereas Nakaba is pretty much a good person. But it's interesting finding that parallel. I like Elahe's character. I kind of wish that she wouldn't die, actually. After everything was said and done, I was like, oh, that's too bad. I like her character. She had some power. She had a personality, tragic background, sympathetic character, she was more, the person who died was more human than the person who gained by her death. That was the thing. If you really think about it, Elahe was a person who had love. She did things that for love, and experienced more human emotion. Batal just used her. The guy just has no emotion and really didn't seem to care. The guy has no conscience and just seemed to be evil. So that was really tragic. I liked Elahe too, but after finding out the story of her and whatnot, I was like, oh man, that sucks. She died. Nakaba, well, and like I said, it parallels Loki, because Nakaba found out that Loki has feelings for her, and now she's really uneasy around him. That's going to be really interesting because, well, it's already interesting because Nakaba chose Caesar over Loki. So, I don't know. Caesar and Loki already have tension between each other. I gotta wonder if this is just gonna add more tension between the two. But Nakaba loves Caesar, and Nakaba kind of does, or Loki does what Nakaba does, or kind of acts in Nakaba's best interest. So I gotta really wonder how this whole triangle is gonna turn out. I mean, it's pretty one-sided now at this point. Nakaba loves Caesar. Caesar loves Nakaba. Loki is the third wheel. I mean, that's really where it's going at this point. Really unfortunate that Loki is the third wheel, though. But he's also a really strong guy, too. And then we got to see the extent of the Arcana of Time with the doors. It's like I said, it's just getting stronger and stronger. She's seeing more. She's able to use this arcana to see what's going on, and it seems like there's a lot of doors around. So, and at the end of the volume, it showed that one person had to die, which really goes to show that the arcana is not some sort of ultimate power. You know, it's like, it, you know what though? Maybe because she knows the future, that maybe she can stop it. I don't know what the next volume holds. It seems like though one of them is gonna have to die. We'll see what happens. So that's all for today. If you like this, don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment to this channel if you're on YouTube, or follow, share, and comment on this channel if you're listening to this on SoundCloud. If you're listening to this on iTunes or Stitcher, please rate, review, and share this channel. Thank you for listening to these manga reviews. Next week, I will review Dawn of the Arcana, volumes 10 to 13, have a list of reluctant protagonists in movies, and a movie review for Wonder Woman. Thank you, and until next time.